Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with another episode in Dave's Faves. And today we're talking about Mahler's Symphony Number 10, the completed version. Now, I have made a couple videos about this piece, and I have made some passionate arguments as to why I don't particularly care for any of the completions and why I think it's best left alone, because there's just not enough of it there. Yes, there is a melodic thread that goes from beginning to end, and there are some suggestions of harmonies and whatnot. But aside from the first movement, the Adagio and the Purgatorio movement, which are perfectly reconstructible, the rest of it is a little bit sketchy. The second movement could be done by somebody who really, really knows Mahler's style, I think. But the last two, very problematic. The most problematic probably is the huge recapitulatory episode in the finale where the shriek from the first movement comes back, that big climax, the approach to it, and the decline from it. Those are very, very difficult. And I also think, even though we have a melodic line all the way through, that the end just goes on way too long. I think Mahler would have trimmed it down somehow. Or maybe we could just do that ourselves. I mean, because it just keeps dying and dying and dying, and you wish it would end. And it's like, and then you think it's over, and then it goes, what? It comes back, and it's just, oh my goodness. Anyway, it has issues. It really does have issues. And so the version that I prefer, if I want to hear the complete thing, and I do, I like hearing the complete thing, even though I have problems with it. I mean, having problems with it doesn't mean I won't listen to it, nor does it mean I can't appreciate a great performance of it. I mean, those are two completely separate issues. So the performing version I choose is Derek Cooke's, which is hands down the best. All the others are just wretched in one way or another, just terrible. And the reason they're terrible is because none of the people who completed the thing are in any way, shape, or form comparable to Mahler in terms of their ability and their vision and insight and, most importantly, sense of orchestral color. And beyond that, the reason Cooke is the best is because it does the least. And I think part of the joy, such as it is, of listening to the 10th Symphony, at least for me, is to hear only what Mahler left completed in the most bare bones basic way, with a minimum of interference, because my experience with the other performing versions is that the more they do, the less like Mahler it sounds. And that's really the issue. So for the Cooke version, the one that I pull out and listen to is Michael Gielen on Hänssler /SWR. It may be SWR now, it was Hänssler. But in any case, this is a fantastic Mahler 10th. Why? Because Gielen really understands Mahler's aesthetic, and he understands the Mahler sound, and he knows how to get what is there to sound as much like Mahler as possible. And he really gets the shape of the piece. I mean, if you just look at the timings here, they don't, sometimes timings don't tell you very much, but here they really do. It's 24:46 for the Adagio, then the Scherzo 1 is 11:53, and then the Purgatorio is 4 minutes and 10, and Scherzo 2 is 12:54, and the finale is 23:20. So, I mean, it balances out. It's a beautiful Bartokian, if you want to call it that, arch form, which balances beautifully in this performance. The whole thing lasts 77 minutes and 5 seconds, which is just about right. And as an example, though, of just how fabulously Gielen understands, the Mahler bit, I'm going to play you the primal scream climax of the first movement, which is still, I think, possibly the scariest minute and a half of music anybody ever wrote. It's fabulous. It's so fabulous. It's so unbelievably alien. It's as if it's coming out of another world. I mean, even at the end of his life, Mahler was finding these wonderful, wonderful new sounds that he was able to create using really fairly simple harmonies, but just the sheer sonority of it is so extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. And Gielen gets that high trumpet note to really pierce. It really hurts. because Gielen was, the ultimate nihilist when it came to, his musical choices. He was fabulous at music that was supposed to be, apocalyptic or destructive or, horrific or, just painful. I mean, that was his specialty. You should have heard his own music. Oh, God. But anyway, listen to how he gets the SWR Symphony Orchestra of Baden-Baden und Freiburg to play this climax. It is extraordinary. Yeah, makes you sweat, doesn't it? It's just fabulous. And the whole performance is like that. It really sounds as much like Mahler as it possibly can. Even with the issues in the finale, which he takes at a reasonable clip so that it doesn't drag the way it does in some other performances, particularly in its closing stages. And so I think that's a wonderful Mahler 10. It is my personal favorite performance, and I recommend it very strongly. Accordingly, here it is. Michael Gielen, Mahler Symphony No. 10 on SWR Classic / Hänssler, one or the other. However you get it, it's worth hearing. Definitely worth hearing. This was available separately. Now it's in the big Gielen Mahler box. But, the whole Gielen Mahler box is worth having. It's some of the best Mahler out there. So you can't go wrong no matter what you do. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.